Picture this, you're cruising from Saudi Arabia's sizzling desert straight into Egypt's sun-kissed Sinai coast, not on a camel or crammed budget flight, but in your own car, coffee in hand, AC blasting, GPS yelling, turn left at the Red Sea. Sounds like a road trip Moses would have loved, minus the whole parting the sea ordeal. Enter the King Salman Causeway, aka the Moses Bridge, a $4 billion mega high five between continents. It's a bold leap from fantasy to asphalt, brought to you by Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 and an irresistible urge to connect continents with concrete. But before we pack our bags, let's explore whether this bridge is a miracle in the making, or just a really expensive splash. The origins and revival of the bridge. The concept of connecting Egypt and Saudi Arabia across the Red Sea is not new. It first surfaced in the 1980s, when leaders like Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak and the Saudi monarchy sought to ease the annual pilgrimage for Muslims and enhance cross-border commerce. However, environmental concerns regarding coral reef preservation and security risks tied to the Sinai Peninsula shelved the project for decades. It wasn't until 2016, during a historic visit by King Salman to Cairo, that the idea resurfaced with renewed vigor. During that visit, the two nations inked numerous strategic agreements, including one on this very bridge. They also transferred sovereignty of the Tiran and Sanafir Islands from Egypt to Saudi Arabia, critical steps for the proposed construction route. Now tied deeply into Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia's plan to reduce its dependency on oil revenues and transform into a diversified, innovation-driven economy, the King Salman Causeway represents not just a transit project, but a symbol of a broader transformation. It aims to build a more interconnected Arab world, promote religious tourism, and position Saudi Arabia as a regional and even continental connector, a strategic and symbolic pathway. The King Salman Causeway is slated to span approximately 32 kilometers, cutting across the Strait of Tiran, one of the most strategically vital maritime choke points in the region. This bridge will connect Ras Humaid, located within the futuristic Eniam megacity zone in Saudi Arabia, to the Egyptian town of Ras Nasrani, just north of Sharm el-Sheikh. On the Saudi side, the bridge will integrate seamlessly with Neom's advanced transport networks. On the Egyptian side, it connects directly to the country's national highway system, thereby offering an overland route that links North Africa's economic zones with the Middle East. The location isn't just strategic in geography, it's symbolic in ideology. Close to Israel and Jordan and hovering above vital shipping lanes, this corridor touches on multiple regional sensitivities. As such, it will require carefully coordinated diplomatic agreements to ensure the free flow of both cargo and vessels. Beyond its logistical significance, the bridge is poised to play a spiritual role, offering a direct road for millions of Muslim pilgrims traveling to Mecca, potentially easing pressure on airports and seaports, bridging oceans and challenges. The King Salman Causeway is not just a bridge, it's a feat of engineering artistry and endurance. The proposed design is a hybrid mix of elevated spans, causeways, and possibly even underwater tunnels. These design choices are intended to meet a wide array of challenges: deep waters, ship navigation lanes, coral reef preservation, and seismic activity. Some sections may require the bridge to rise up to 75 meters, allowing unimpeded passage for maritime traffic. Engineers are exploring cable-stayed or suspension bridge designs that can handle both high-speed trains and multi-lane highways, turning the causeway into a dual-function artery. Material selection is crucial. The use of reinforced concrete composites and corrosion-resistant steel is under consideration to withstand the harsh marine climate. Additionally, earthquake-resilient technologies will be essential given the region's tectonic volatility. With a focus on minimizing environmental damage, planners are studying routes that avoid sensitive coral reef zones and may deploy elevated structures or submerged tunnels to reduce seabed disruption. Overall, the estimated construction timeline is about 10 years, assuming that environmental and political hurdles are cleared swiftly. A geopolitical chess move. Beneath its physical infrastructure, the King Salman Causeway is a geopolitical gambit. At its core, the bridge bolsters the Saudi-Egyptian alliance, binding their economies and political agendas more closely than ever. For Egypt, grappling with economic turbulence and high inflation, the bridge represents a lifeline, potentially bringing in investment, tourism, and job creation. For Saudi Arabia, it's about expanding influence across the Red Sea, projecting power into North Africa, and countering the growing presence of external actors like China China, which has established a firm foothold in nearby ports through its Belt and Road Initiative. Additionally, the bridge crosses waters governed by the Camp David Accords, which stipulate peace agreements and maritime access. That means Israeli involvement or at least tacit approval is required, creating a subtle yet important diplomatic dynamic that further intertwines regional interests. Perhaps most significantly, this would be the first direct land connection between Asia and Africa, a potential game changer for how trade, people, and culture move across the region. Economic and cultural ripple effects. The King Salman Causeway could dramatically reshape the regional economy. For starters, it promises to create a logistics corridor between Neom and Egypt's new administrative capital, enhancing the movement of goods while reducing shipping time and costs. This could spark a boom in manufacturing, retail, and export industries. Religious tourism will also get a boost, as the bridge provides pilgrims a more accessible and affordable land route to the holy cities. This aligns perfectly with Saudi Arabia's goal of increasing Umrah and Hajj visitors under Vision 2030. And then there's tourism. With easy travel between Egypt's Red Sea resorts and Saudi Arabia's luxury destinations in Tabuk and Neom, the bridge could drive a regional tourism renaissance. This would benefit not only hospitality and transportation, but also local artisans and cultural initiatives, fueling grassroots economic development. The result, thousands of new jobs across Sinai and northwestern Saudi Arabia, along with a deeper cultural intermingling that reinforces pan-Arab identity. Environmental, political, and economic concerns. Despite its grand ambitions, the King Salman Causeway comes with more baggage than a honeymoon cruise. For starters, it's set to pass over the Strait of Tiran, basically the VIP lounge of marine biodiversity, home to over 300 coral species and more than 1,200 fish that really don't want bulldozers moving in. Environmentalists are sounding the alarm louder than a fairy horn, warning that without serious precautions, this bridge could turn paradise into a parking lot. Then there's the engineering side. Think deep waters, earthquake zones, and construction so complex even veteran engineers are sweating harder than a tourist in the Tabuk sun. Politically, it's a hot potato, one that's been tossed between Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and even Israel, which has a say thanks to the Camp David Accords. Toss in Egyptian protests over selling off Tiran and Sanafer Islands, and the waters get murkier than ever. Financially, it's a billion-dollar gamble that could take decades to pay off, assuming it survives sabotage, shifting alliances, or economic meltdowns. With so many moving parts, this project might just need divine intervention, or at least an excellent insurance policy, status, and expectations. So where do things stand now? As of mid-2025, detailed planning is complete. Egypt's transport ministry has confirmed that both bridge and tunnel options have been thoroughly studied, and tendering is expected soon. While no construction has started yet, analysts forecast that groundbreaking could begin as early as late 2025 or early 2026, but that schedule depends on key issues, chiefly whether environmental approvals are granted and whether all stakeholder nations, including Israel, are on board. Still, for many observers, the King Salman Causeway represents a turning point, a test of how far Middle Eastern nations can go in turning vision into reality and ideology into infrastructure. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more epic mega project deep dives, and ring the bell so you never miss a journey into tomorrow's infrastructure. Got thoughts? Drop them in the comments. We're building conversations too.